Good, good morning, everyone. So I'm Sergio. As you can see on my badge, I've been a co-founder at Clickly. Clickly is going really well in the online advertising space, delivering more than 1 billion ads a month all over Europe. Actually, I spend most of my time nowadays with another company that splits between Lisbon and Boston in the US called Future Fuel. We commit to solve a huge social problem in the US, which is student debt. People leave universities with like $500,000 in debt and 100K in debt in some specialties. So we help employers roll out student debt repayment as a benefit to them. So if you, investors out there, if you want to chat either about Clickly or Future Fuel, I'm all ears to you. See you.
Thank you. Now I call Miguel Pina Martins from Science for You. I think you were one of the first startups to be successful in Lisbon.
That's true, that's true. So thank you very much, Rui. My name is Miguel Pina Martins. I'm CEO and founder of Science for You. Science for You is a Portuguese company that develops, makes, and sells science toys a little bit all over the world. So basically, Science for You was my final degree project. 10 years, it's going to make 10 years next year. And I founded the company with 1,125 euros. And in that year, in 2008, we sold around 54K. This year, we are going to sell around 23 million, which is a little bit better than the first year. And we are continuing to grow, basically. And continue. That's what we want to do. So basically, our toys, we believe that are a little bit more than toys because we feel that we found the right balance between education and fun. What does this mean? This means that when we buy a Science for You toy, you get the kid very happy because he has a lot of fun, and you get mom and dad very happy because they are learning something about it. And that's why we believe that we got this right balance between education and fun, and that is what we believe that is the big innovation of Science for You. And that's what is making us selling more than Lego in Portugal. We have more products on the top 30 than Lego. And that means, of course, that Lego, it's an 8 billion company. We are just a 20 million company, but which is something that we are very proud of. Without TV, without Spider-Man or Star Wars, we were able to do it. So, and we believe that happened because mom and dad are very happy because we are doing something for the kids, and the kids are very happy because they are having a lot of fun. So basically, it's Science for You. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miguel. I also am very happy because I have 5 kids, so I'm very happy for your work. And now I call Hugo Condesa from WeTek. Please, Hugo.
Okay, WeTek was born in north of Portugal in a small city called Monção, when me and a Bosnian engineer decided to build something that we are really passionate about it, Android set-top boxes. Since the beginning, well, and even before the beginning, we were trying to expand our reach in order to increase and especially enrich WeTek's portfolio. From set-top box for geeks, we were then starting doing a customized set-top box for operators and telecom-grade companies. From there was just a very small step to start going on the customized solutions for online video platforms. And today, we start going even further there to a complete solution for an hospitality environment. Okay, seems there I make a wrong press. Okay. Okay, now about our growth. Our growth are mainly powered by our own equity and retaining revenue. In fact, our turnover will be this year 5 times bigger than last year, and we'll be seated on $6 million US. But we'll keep growing at this level, and we'll reach $20 million US on next year. But this reach will not be only because of our organic growth or increase of our retail sales point, but mainly because of the new projects that we have in pipeline for Android TV set-top boxes, and also for license of our software stack for set-top box for TV sets. However, this is far from over. In fact, we realize that we just start. The future will see WeTek bringing innovation to our living rooms, combining IoT with TV world. The future will witness WeTek being forefront of the convergence between classic linear TV and OTT incumbent players, creating paths toward a unified TV experience, combining DVB, IPTV, OTT, 5G in one hub, one solution, our solution. We believe that the future will bring a trial to blaze experience to WeTek, and we'll like that to make you part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugo. Now, Ricki, Madsen, please, Pure Cotton, welcome on stage.
Good morning, bom dia. My name is Ricki. I'm one of the co-founders of Pure Cotton. We are 3 founders, Elder Brito, Rui Costa, and me. I would like to start, let's say, a little bit differently. I think there's a lot of us out here with this special energy. We want to be part of something. We want to drive things forward. We're not okay with just doing the normal job, but are trying to do, in our way, things differently. So, let me see. When we started 6 years ago, we founded the company with 5 million euros. This was on top of the crisis. At this time, there was no bank saying, yes, here's some capital, go out and create a company. What we did was, we did it the other way around. We found, we had some good suppliers that believed in us. Basically, they said, Ricki, Elder, Rui, you guys are great, we believe in you. You have 90 days credit. And based on that, we would go out and find clients, make the production, deliver, receive the money, and pay our suppliers. As for the company Pure Cotton, we are not a traditional company as you see here. There's a lot of tech companies. We're actually from the more normal business, let's say the industry, the traditional. We are a textile producer. We do t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, other things for the fashion industry. And this is probably one of the biggest differences from our company and a lot of other companies here. But at the same time, when we grew, we started out with production. Since then, we have expanded. We have another 2 companies. They are run separately and have nothing to do with Pure Cotton. But in this part, we are doing brands. Basically, we have one called Inimigo Clothing, which is selling in Portugal and in the US. And we have another one with a Belgian partner, which is called French Kick. And this brand is selling all over Europe. So we've been starting from being production, organizing more towards having brands on the side. But the problems we face, if we talk about our business, it's the same as in other tech companies and so on, is that as you grow, you have more and more people. The more people you have, the more complicated business becomes. And the real importance here is to organize. You need to structure the things. You need to have the right organizational culture. You need to have people follow you, work with you. And for us, that's the main part. If I take it back just a little bit to the, let's say the beginning. When we started in the beginning, as I mentioned, there were no banks helping us. This was on top of the crisis. But we had the good suppliers, and that is what's been driving us ever since. So we started in 2011. Last year we did 6 million in revenues. A big difference from our company and not the ones here, but let's say tech companies in general is that ever since we started, we've been profitable every single year. And we still don't have an investor. So, okay.
Hugo, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And apart from all that, he makes fantastic shirts like the one he's wearing. I want one, Ricki.
Okay.
The first thing I would like to ask you, and to take advantage of your presence here, and assuming that people in the audience are thinking or starting new businesses, what advice would you give for a new entrepreneur, an entrepreneur that is starting now, and starting by you, Hugo, following the same?
Yeah, I think that's probably the key question for many in the audience. And it takes me back to what does a starting entrepreneur look like? A starting entrepreneur is just someone who works full-time elsewhere, is just fed up with it and wants to kick off their own business. So my advice is to really validate the market and validate that there are clients out there willing to pay for whatever you're thinking about doing. And there are very, very easy ways to do it. Just talk with people who would be your prospective clients. Make sure they know what the value proposition you're offering is. Make sure they value it. Make sure they commit to pay for it. If you don't have that, there's no point in becoming an entrepreneur, at least with that idea. You need to shift it, you need to test it again, you need to, finally get to something that is promising enough for you to leave your full-time job and go full-time in your own idea.
Okay, Miguel, one idea, one advice.
So basically, I believe that the first thing and the most important thing is do it. We have to do it because most of the ideas, 99% of the ideas die because people don't even try. And that's the most important thing, do it. In my case, I can say that because we started with 1,125 years. I had 21-year-old guy. I just had my degree, I worked for 4 months, and in the end, I didn't have any experience of anything. And right now, we are 700 people working with us, selling 22 million. So the most important thing is if I did it with no experience, with no money, and with an idea that I think it's a nice idea, but unfortunately for me it's not Google or Facebook, I think it's something that anybody can do with other ideas that can be so good as Science for You and make even a bigger company. That's always the most important.
Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you very much.
Hugo, now you. One idea, one advice.
Okay. The best advice that I can give is focus on it and don't give up. But that don't mean that you don't test what you are doing. It will not work just because you say that it will work. It will work because if you solve a problem, if you have a clear value proposal, and then focus. Test and focus.
Thank you. Ricki?
I'm with Miguel here. I think that there's a lot of us with good ideas, but execution is 99% of it. And maybe you don't have all the, let's say, the competences. In my case, what I did was I found 2 awesome partners. One of them is hiding over there in a corner, and the other one is back in the office taking care of business right now as we speak. But finding the right partner is something that can bring you forward. And I think it's important that it's not a partner that's like you. You don't need a yes, 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 and you can agree on no. You need to have a proper conversation about things and push you forward.
Well, I completely agree with all of you. Now, that takes me to another question, and this is a tricky question, okay? I think that's one of the reasons for success is to focus. Some of you have said that. So focus, focus. But having said that, I would like to know from you what opportunities you are missing, business opportunities you think you maybe are missing in the market because you are focusing on your company, on your project. And I'm saying this because maybe some people in the audience wants to take advantage of your, of your idea. Please.
Yeah, certainly that's a fair question for all of us. Focus is key, so we cannot even afford most of the time to ask ourselves that question. Certainly one of the key things I feel I'm missing out to some extent is this whole blockchain and ICO craze. I try to mentor and advise some startups in the space to just, keep in with the loop. But I feel I'm missing out to some extent. Certainly, you would ask if that's so interesting to you, why don't you just integrate it with your own companies? We are thinking and researching a little bit the market and some partners to do an ICO with Future Fuel, building a student debt refinance engine on the blockchain, but it's still very early. So if that's not the case, I certainly feel I'm missing out a little bit on that.
Okay, blockchain. What about you, Miguel? What are you missing?
We miss always a lot of things. The thing is, focus is essential. It's one of the key things that we have to do if you want to bring a business up. You don't do it as a part-time. I'm sorry for everybody that thinks that can have a new company, a startup, and then continue to work. It doesn't work like that. You have to focus 100%. Of course, you lose a lot of things. You'll lose time with your family. You'll lose time with your friends. You'll lose maybe the job that you have right now. But it's the only way. It's impossible to do a startup thinking that you can do all over the stuff that you've done in the past.
Ideas for the rest, for the ones that are not yet focusing.
Start to be focused. If you are not focused enough, you have to focus because it's only the only way to make a company work successfully. It's to go on it and focus 100%, work 20 hours a day if possible, but make it happen. Because if that not happen, if you are focused in another thing, if you have a plan B, normally that means that the plan B is going to happen, and that's not
okay. Ricki, what do you think?
Well, I think that in a business like Miguel is saying, it's a matter of catching the right balls. There's a lot of things going through the system and you need to prioritize. But if we are talking in regard to, let's say, the rest of the market, being a foreigner from Denmark living in Portugal, enjoying it very much also, I need to say that Portugal has a lot to offer. I think there's a lot of young talent here. I think there's a lot of creativity. From the traditional industry, there's also a lot of, we have wine, we have olive oil, there's a lot of things. Of course, textile is a grooming area. I think the main advice on my side would still be, if you are a little bit stuck in what you do, try something else. Go out and meet some other people. Join up for networks and try and drive it forward. Don't keep doing what you're doing if it's not really getting you where you want to go.
Thank you, Ricki. Hugo?
I really think that if you want to start something, first that this something needs to bring value. And second, you need to pick something that is hard to copy, to clone. So you need to take initially some kind of advantage that you can get from Portugal. And we have a lot of things. We have textiles, we have wine, we have cork, we have a lot of things that from where we can go. But if you ask me where I would spend my time if I were not so passionate with my business, I would probably go to cybersecurity.
It's an idea. Thank you. Now, a very quick question. We are just finishing a question for all of you. Is it possible to conquer the world starting in Lisbon, starting in Espinho, starting in Porto, starting in Portugal? Ricki?
I think that nowadays with the technology and the things, it's possible to do it from anywhere. In my case, I think that Portugal is a wonderful place because, okay, the people are friendly, the weather's good, the food is awesome, and okay, you have a lot of competences. So in the physical world, if we're talking products, okay, in my case it's textiles because, of course, we need to be working with something that we are producing here. But I think in the tech area, I will leave that to the other guys, but you can probably start whatever.
Let me ask Sergio, because you just arrived from Silicon Valley, is that it? Or San Francisco,
I
Boston?
spent the last 2 weeks in the US, and I think the answer must be yes. You know, Clickly and Future Fuel are two good examples. Clickly is there demoing. We are deploying over 1 billion ads a month all over Europe. At Future Fuel, we are building tech here in Lisbon, actually really close by the Web Summit, and managing a few billions in that in the US. So I think that's proof that we can really build kick-ass technology in Portugal and conquer the world with it.
Okay, Miguel, you can conquer the peninsula from Lisbon. You can conquer the world.
Of course we can. We conquered the world 500 years ago with some small boats from Lisbon. Do you think now with all the technology we can? Of course we can. Of course. Okay. It's 100% sure.
Okay. So I think we have finished our time. But if you don't expel us from the stage, we will keep on. Keep on, or it's us. So thank you very much. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.